YouTube, what's up, man? It's your boy Richardson from Minimum Wage to Millionaire. If you're new to the channel, welcome. If you've been here, welcome back. So today, I'm gonna take this video a different angle. Still gonna keep it financial. You guys probably saw the title. This may not appeal to all of my subscribers and audience members, but I still think I should talk about it. And that is the idea that gaming is slowly but surely, and you could even make the argument, always has become somewhat of a luxury, and now people are starting to wake up and see that. Now, you guys know me. For those that watch my channel, I'm not going to be the doom and gloom, fire and brimstone, type of video where there's nothing we could do about it, stuff like that. You guys know I don't like to take it that angle. I like to kind of get everything out there, the frustrations, the venting and all that, but also end the video off with solutions. So I'm going to end off what I believe some of the solutions to some of these problems. Is it going to fix everything? No. The gaming industry is just going to go where it's going to go. But I think having these solutions in mind and changing your mindset a little bit, you may be able to still get enjoyment out of gaming. So if you guys like videos like this or whatever, let me know in the comments, and I may make some more videos about this in the channel, or maybe even pivot and open a different channel talking about certain topics outside of what I normally talk about. So with that being said, I won't waste any more time. Let's get into it. First things first, I want to kind of detail my kind of gaming history, my gaming background. For one, I want to say that I am very much a casual gamer. I would say I'm 28 years old. I would say in my early single digit age, early teens, definitely was more heavy into gaming, first person shooters, action adventure, stuff like that. Even dipping a little bit into RPG. But now as I grow up, and I'm not saying that as offense to gamers that are older or older than me, but I'm just saying that now that I'm growing up with more responsibilities, other interests and hobbies and things like that, I haven't been gaming as much as possible. Still do. I game on a Series X. I still like the gaming. I like gaming as a hobby. I think that will always become somewhat part of me. But, to say that I'm a casual gamer, it's an understatement of the century, right? So I'm looking at this from a casual gamer standpoint. And I know for more hardcore gamers that give more of their time, more of their love, more of their passion to gaming, you might be like, I'll just write off what this guy he said he's not a hardcore gamer. But I implore those people to kind of just stick around to kind of tell you guys my thought process and everything like that. So the gaming industry, whoo! I mean, anyone that's been tuned in, at least for the last month or so, last 6 months or so, what's been going on, right? The RAM crisis with all the RAM and the GPUs and how, AI is driving those prices to the roof. I'm talking GPUs and RAMs that used to be $100, $150 now going for $400, $500 out of nowhere, just in this lickety split. Now all of these components are being used for AI and training AI and data centers and all that stuff. But what this does is obviously, regular customers like me and you versus those institutions, we're not gonna win, right? Because they got billions of investor capital to invest in those AI data centers, and we know AI is just, whether you like it or not, it's the future, right? So we have that to contend with. Then we have, because of this is bleeding into increased console prices. Switch 2 is announcing, or have already announced, that they're raising it, to $500, I think next month or the month after. Microsoft is talking about they're raising prices. I think their Series X is going to be, $800 or $900, which is crazy because I bought a Series X. I didn't even buy it brand new. I bought it secondhand, and anyone that knows I'm a very frugal person, frugal gamer, and that's going to lead to one of the solutions I'll talk about later in the video. But I bought my Series X a couple years ago for $250. So it's just crazy that I literally am making more of a return on my investment in a 3.5-4 year time period than the S&P 500 or gold and silver. It's just crazy to think about. No one would have thought about it. But that's what we have, right? PlayStation's probably soon going to increase console prices. The Steam machine, right? Oh, what was it, $1,000, 57 whatever, doesn't come with a controller. Just ludicrous, just crazy. because of all these things. Now, part of it's inflation, some of it is tariffs, some of it is this, that. Like, everyone has a part to play, a part to blame in it. But regardless, these prices are just crazy for console gamers. And to contextualize that, console gamers generally versus like PC gamers that have to build their PCs and all that stuff. Generally, the appeal of console player is like, hey, I buy a low cost console, obviously compared to the latest PC tech and parts out there. It's not going to compete with the high top performing PC gaming, but hey, I get a pretty decent console that could play games for the next 6, 7, 8 years comfortably with my TV. And now that doesn't seem like that big of a reality anymore. And it's just crazy to think about that. But it's not only the console prices and the parts and the PC parts and all that stuff. It's also with the GTA scenario where we're increasing the price of games. Now, GTA, again, put that into context, it's probably the most anticipated game of all time. Like, everyone like, you have high schoolers. When GTA 5 came out, I was, freshman? And now GTA 6 is coming out 13 years later, but I've been out of high school for almost a decade, right? So you have people that have been waiting on this game, people that were late teens, early 20s, now 30s, early mid-30s, with wife and kids waiting for this game, right? So the demand, to say that the demand is there, would be the understatement of the century, right? But because of this, the corporations, right, capitalism, love it, hate it, doesn't matter. That's just the way the cookie crumbles. Now the base standard game is $80. Before this generation, games were retailing at $70. So you have a $10 base pay, and when one company does it and sees success, everyone's gonna flock to it. So by next year, all brand new AAA games are going to be $80 plus. That's GTA set the standard. We all know this. But then they have the standard edition, not standard edition, ultimate premium edition. I forgot the name of the title, where it comes with extra shops and cosmetics and supposed to be maybe side activities and stuff you could do in the game for $100. So it's just crazy that, like, whoa, we're at a point where games are pushing $100 a piece. Crazy. But then there's also another spin to this, and that is that, again, everyone probably knows about it this time. GTA 6 is going to be, at least for the foreseeable future, till we know that's confirmed, because there's rumors that they may change it or whatever. But as far as we know, confirmation-wise, GTA 6 is going to be digital only. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, you look at the data and the statistics, whether it's the PlayStation data that they revealed later on, or whether it's just the general trend of gaming. Yes, gaming's becoming more digitized. So on one aspect, it's understandable. Another aspect, it's like the physical aspect of gaming for a lot of gamers, particularly the older gamers that remember cartridges and disc and Blu-rays. The fact that is becoming almost extinct, at least for modern gaming going forth beyond, starting with GTA 6, but you could argue with Sony and what they're doing with removing game discs beyond January 2028, it's going to change into something that most of us have not recognized. And it's crazy. Now, you hear boycotts, you hear protests, you hear, in some cases, almost like mob-like mentality, which I understand the frustrations. And I'm somebody where it's like, I could adhere to those people without getting so, I guess, what's the term, dogmatic or, pessimistic or, doom and gloomy. But I'm also somebody that's a bit pragmatic and realize that, hey, well, if the trends are going this way, things are just going to change, right? And that's not to say don't voice your concerns about it. And again, a little bit later in the solutions, I'll offer some ways to kind of mend that a little bit. But I'm somebody where it's like, if this is the way things are, it's just the way things are, right? And I have a mindset where it's like, okay, I'm in a situation I'm in. Rather than just sit and complain and lament, how do I adapt? How do I make the best of the situation? So, all these things culminate together, and it seems like it's like almost planned, like everybody planned, like, hey, late 2025, early 2026, we're just gonna bunch all these problems for the gamers and just spit it out and then have them deal with it. And again, it's making a lot of people angry, a lot of people bitter. But again, I don't like to leave my videos with anger and bitters. If you watch my content, you know how that goes. So let me offer some kind of solutions and kind of mindsets to kind of maneuver around these changes. So as opposed to, first off, I want to make it clear, and I touched upon it earlier in the video, I am a very frugal person, right? And just to separate frugal and cheap, because it also, those two terms often get interchanged. Frugality just means that you're looking at things from the value perspective. It's not that price doesn't matter, it does matter, but you're looking at what's the value I'm getting out of this, and I'm willing to spend my money if the value is there. Whereas a cheap person will always just go for the cheapest items, right? So I want to make that distinction. I am a frugal person, so naturally, when you apply this to gaming, I am a very frugal gamer. So I'm somebody where if I see the value in stuff, right, I don't have a problem with paying whatever price as long as I see the value. But what I also believe is that just because a company tells me that it's worth this doesn't mean I, the consumer, am going to pay that price, right? And I'll just make it clear, and I might be the 1 in 10 people in the whole world about that's going to say this. And some of you guys may crash out on the comments just from this, but I don't believe GTA 6, in my opinion, and in my perspective, how I value gaming, is worth $80. I just don't. I don't believe it's worth $80 or $100, depending on what edition you're talking about, without the physical aspect. Now, I get what people are going to say, Richardson, the physical is just a physical license holder. You don't own the game. I get that. But for me, and I'm not going to say I'm a physical connoisseur or collector or anything like that, because I don't. But I like the aspect that I could go buy the game secondhand, second market, at significantly lower prices for that same gaming experience. And the great thing about gaming, at least for me, is that I don't really care about the hype or the communal aspect of gaming. I'm very much, and it's kind of gonna sound a little crazy, but I'm somewhat of a selfish gamer. I'm somebody where it's like, yeah, if everyone's hyped about it, that's cool. What do I get out of it? And once I figure out that, hey, I could get this at a very significant price through the secondhand market for 10, 20, 30 bucks, whether it's digital on sale for that 20, 30, because again, I'm not opposed to going digital. But I like the aspect that with physical out there, there's another market where, hey, if the PlayStation store, the Xbox store is telling me I got to pay $70 for this game, but I'm looking on eBay or I'm looking at Amazon and they're running a sale where the game is $25 and I really find value in playing that game and having that experience, I'm not paying $70 just because it's digital and convenient. No, I'm going to pay $25 and I'll have the physical game, and whenever I want to discard it, I'll just discard it. Because I'm not really a collector, right? I'm type of someone where it's like I'll play the games, maybe I'll keep it around a couple that I really, really love and enjoy and want to continue playing, maybe with my nephew or something like that. But generally speaking, once that's taken care of, that's taken care of. So that's the thing. I would say implore people, instead of just paying the games and buying the prices that the companies are telling you to get, whether it's Sony, Microsoft, Valve, whatever, look into why you want to play that game and try to find alternative ways to play that game at a more reasonable price to you. Not necessarily cheap, because if you feel like GTA is worth $100, you'll pay $100. It is what it is. But if you feel like, hey, I could wait a little bit, play the backlog of games that I already have, and then once I get through that backlog, maybe GTA may have a sale where it's only $50. Well, instead of paying $80 or $100, I'm paying $50. I find GTA 6 at $50 way much more value, and I'll pull the trigger on that one. So look into becoming a frugal gamer. Obviously, again, this is going to vary depending on who you are, so you may not want to take that advice, but just want to put something out there. Another thing is I'm a very, very, very strong believer of voting with your dollars. I love the idea that gamers are protesting, right? Obviously with respect and kindness, but airing out your frustrations, because I think that's the best way to do it. Don't become like, don't allow it to make you come so bitter where you like willing to go do crazy things, or you just start talking bad about people and even going as far as like attacking the specific executives that's not going to solve anything. And then don't attack the gamers that are for whether it's GTA being at $80 or maybe they do support, the all digital future. Don't attack them, right? Instead, make your position, make your points across clearly, as respectful and as kind as you can, and then tie this, in my opinion, tie it with voting with your dollars. Meaning, don't just say it when it's time to act upon it. Like for me, I don't believe GTA 6. Again, one in 10 people in the world, I don't believe GTA 6 is worth $80. I'm not paying $80 for GTA 6. Now, I would like to play GTA 6, and if GTA 6 going down the line, let's say it does do a limited physical run, like all the rumors are saying, like maybe December or January next year, after the initial launch of the game, they may do a physical release. If that happens and then that gets circulated in the physical market, and then eventually a year or two down the line with secondhand, it goes down for cheaper, I'll cop GTA 6 at that price, but I don't believe it's worth $8. So nothing people are going to be able to tell me or say to me that's going to make me go out and buy GTA 6 for $80 or $100. There's nothing. But I'm willing to stand behind that with my money. The problem is with online, and let's just be real, a lot of people will say it, but then they'll either compromise or they'll become complacent and just go along with it. And that's okay if that's what you genuinely want. But if you actually want change, show it in your actions. It's just like when it comes to voting. I'm not really into politics on this channel and stuff like that, but let's say you want to vote against the agenda of the current president or congressional members, right? We're in the midterm year and stuff like that. You want to vote people out. Yes, you could talk about it, say, I don't like this, I don't like what the president's doing, I like this, I don't like that. That's fine. But if you're not going out there and voting, whether it's every 4 years with the actual presidential election or midterms, where you may not be able to vote the president out, you may be able to vote people that will stand against the president's agendas. If you're not willing to go out there and make that change happen, then it's essentially just talking. You're just talking, and that's fine if you want to talk, but talking in most cases, unfortunately, is not going to lead to change. It's going to have to require some action. So put your money behind where it is. And also the third thing, and this is something that I see a lot of physical gamers are going, is they're opting to support local retailers. So they're like, hey, I used to blindly give Sony money or GameStop or whatever, but I'm going to go look at those local retro shops and go buy games for prior generations. Now, obviously, the caveat is that after January 2028, at least on Sony's side, Microsoft is probably expected to follow, and Nintendo will probably follow a little bit later after that. But at least, these local gaming shops that have been, dwindling in demand, because let's be honest, most people buy their games digital, so they're not getting a lot of, demand, a lot of experience. What you can do instead is that you can just opt in for going to these local video game stores and shops and supporting the local businesses. By doing this, right, you could show, maybe not to Sony, but show in terms of everyone else, like, hey, there's a revival in the local video game shops and stores and people that are retro gaming, and maybe that alone could be able to spread that message versus, again, going down the path of, hey, I'm going to attack Sony, I'm going to attack these executives and go down these crazy things. Not saying most people are not doing that, but let's be honest, in every mob or every protest, there's always a minority of people that are willing to go the extreme, and then when they go the extreme, it tanks the message of everyone, and that goes with everything: politics, religion, cultural issues, things like that. So just keep that in mind. So that's all. I don't want to make this video too long. Again, ultimately, do what you guys want, do what you guys believe in, be respectful, be kind, but also explore your options. Don't allow Sony to prevent you from doing whichever you want with gaming, whether it's going retro or becoming more of a frugal gamer, tackling your backlog while you're waiting for sales. Whatever it is, explore those options and get the best out of your gaming experience. So that's it. It's Richardson from Minimum Wage to Millionaire. I pray that the Lord is with you guys all today. And at the end of the day, see you guys.